If you're in any kind of leadership role, you know the feeling all too well. The pressure starts to build, your focus gets scattered, and that pull to just react, it's almost overwhelming. You see, the real challenge isn't just about managing tasks, it's about managing your own internal state. So in this explainer, we're going to explore how you can cultivate that internal authority to lead with clarity, especially when things get loud.
So let me just ask you, straight up, in that critical moment, a tough conversation, an unexpected crisis, what's your default setting? Is it that knee-jerk reactivity, or is it a more grounded sense of responsibility? Here's the thing. The ability to stay centered isn't some kind of magic trick or luck. It's a skill. It's a matter of practice.
And that's our focus today. We're looking at two simple but really powerful tools. Each one takes just 2 minutes and, importantly, is backed by solid research. The entire goal here is to help you make that shift, to move from a state of just reacting on autopilot to a state of true alignment, where your actions are actually driven by presence and clear discernment.
Okay, our first tool is all about physiology. It's about the hardware, so to speak. Because before we can even begin to think clearly, we have to regulate our nervous system. This first practice is about finding what we call neural calm. It's about creating the biological foundation for wise leadership.
This is the 4-7-8 breathing rhythm. I want you to think of it like a microdose of meditation. Or even better, a little reset button that you carry around in your pocket, ready to press anytime, anywhere. It's specifically designed to interrupt that stress cycle right when you feel your breathing get shallow and your thoughts start to race.
And the process itself, it's incredibly simple. You just inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. Then you hold that breath, gently, no strain, for a count of 7. And then you exhale completely through your mouth for a count of 8. You just repeat that simple rhythm for 2 minutes. That's it. That's the whole practice.
So why does this simple thing work so well? Well, this isn't just a relaxation trick. It's a real physiological intervention. That long 8-second exhale is the key. It actively stimulates your vagus nerve, which basically sends a signal to your body to shift out of that agitated fight-or-flight state and into the calm rest and digest mode. And the research backs this up. It shows this can significantly lower your main stress hormone, cortisol, in just those 2 minutes.
So the outcome is this. By intentionally slowing your breath, you're sending a powerful direct signal to your brain that you are safe. And that conscious act creates just enough space, a little pause, that you need to choose responsibility over reactivity. It allows you to lead from a place of stability, not just from a place of survival.
This quote from BKS Iyengar just captures it perfectly. When you regulate your breath, you literally gain leverage over your mental state. It's probably the most direct path you can take to regain control when all those external pressures start to feel overwhelming.
All right, so we've regulated our physical state. Our nervous system is calm. Now our second tool helps us resource our mind. So we're shifting gears here, from finding calm to finding capability. Let's take a look at the strengths snapshot.
This practice is based on a really powerful psychological concept called the reflected best self effect. The research on this is so clear. When you vividly recall and reconstruct a moment where you are operating at your absolute best, totally in the zone, it does more than just feel good. It measurably increases your confidence, your positive emotion, and your motivation to tackle whatever's in front of you.
And here's how you can do this effectively in just 3 simple steps. First, you capture a specific memory using the Situation, Action, Impact framework. Second, you analyze that little story to name the core strengths you are demonstrating. And third, this part is key, you build a bridge to the future by defining one small, micro-action you can take to apply one of those strengths. Let's make this concrete with an example. So imagine you're leading a hackathon. The situation, total chaos. The Wi-Fi just crashed, tension is rising fast. The action, you step up, grab the PA system, cut the stress with a quick joke, and reroute all the teams to a backup system. And the impact, the event was a success. Now by deconstructing this, you can name the strengths that were at play. In this case, it was creativity, collaboration, and adaptability. See, this isn't about ego, it's about data. You're creating an evidence-based reminder of your own capability.
So having these two tools is one thing, but integrating them so they become a reliable habit of alignment, well, that's the real work, isn't it? This is how we build genuine internal authority. And this really highlights the difference between just a wish and an actual plan. A vague goal like, I'll try to breathe more, that's pretty much useless under pressure. What works is an alignment plan, a clear if this, then that intention. You tie the practice to a specific physical cue. So for example,
When I notice my shoulders are tense, then I will start a 2-minute timer and do the 4-7-8 exercise. That's a plan.
Now, to make this habit really stick, you need to feel the shift. You need proof that it's working. A super simple way to make the invisible visible is to just use a basic 1 to 10 stress scale.
It's easy. Before you start your 2-minute reset, just rate your stress level. Let's say it's a 7. Okay. After the 2 minutes are up, you rate it again. Maybe now it's a 4. Seeing that number drop from a 7 to a 4, for instance, that gives you tangible proof that your practice is working. And that feedback loop is what builds motivation and turns a simple technique into a trusted habit.
All right, let's connect these small, repeatable practices back to the larger aim of what we call presence-driven leadership. You know, the key takeaway here is this. Transformation doesn't come from some single heroic effort. It's built through small, consistent acts of alignment. 2 minutes of intentional breathing repeated daily is far more powerful than a 1-hour meditation session you do once a month. It's this consistency that builds true internal authority, that unshakable, deep-down knowledge that you have the tools you need to meet any moment with presence.
So I'll just leave you with this question to reflect on. Think about the next challenge that's on your calendar. What would be different for you and for your team if you met that moment not with reactivity, but with 2 minutes of intentional, grounded alignment? Because that space, that's where true leadership begins.